are listening to Press A Gaming Podcast, hosted by Zephyr, presented by Realm of the Mist Entertainment.
Hello, citizens of the realm. Welcome back to yet another episode of Press A Gaming. I'm your host, Zephyr, and today I am joined by a much larger cast than usual. As always, I'm joined by Wyldehigh 77.
What's up?
And Dusty of the Sock Drawer.
Hello.
And we got a returnee from a couple of episodes ago. We got Black Wings back again.
Yep.
And of course, today we also have Anvil.
The old consumer plain my gluttony, just chasing rice cakes around a bowl of soup like trying to catch a goldfish with chops.
Yep, he definitely just said that.
That was a lot of words.
Today's topic is cooperative games, because we're actually going to be doing a little bit of a Let's Play later involving a cooperative game called Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
What's cooperative game? I don't want a player 2. I only want a player 1. That's me.
Aha! Oh.
Yeah, sure, okay.
Aha!
Anyway, for the uninitiated, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes is a cooperative game, in which case you have 2 players or more. One player is playing the bomb diffuser. The other player is preferably in another room somewhere with a paper manual that you actually print out that tells you how to defuse the bomb. And the goal is to have the person with the manual talk the person who's defusing the bomb through defusing the bomb without actually seeing the bomb. But with the VR version, you can actually have the manual person watching the screen so they can see what the bomb diffuser can see. Makes it slightly easier, but not any less fun.
It's the video game version of Bomb Squad.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but before we get started, how about we clarify the rules of a cooperative game? Are we talking you're sitting in the same room, controller 1, controller 2? Are we talking online, or is things like MMOs eliminated from this topic of conversation?
Is there more than one player collectively working towards the same goal?
Okay.
So that covers pretty much everything. I mean, MMOs are
brought out because you're not necessarily only cooperating with each other. Everybody's sort of doing their own thing, and occasionally you party up.
See,
Fair. That's a fair assessment.
I kind of have to agree that you have to put a limit size when using the phrase co-op, because there's co-op and then there's multiplayer. Multiplayer games cover the same kind of aspect of working towards the same goal, while another team, whether it be AI or real people, are working against that goal. But you essentially, to me, co-op is a player 1 and a player 2. Multiplayer is anything that is more than 2 players. But that's how
well, let me throw this out, because I do the MMO. I don't do a lot of the multiplayer aspect. I do co-op. I have a best friend. We log on and we do the quest together. It's just the 2 of us. So you can do it. It makes the boring grinds of world quests and stuff better, because they're doing the same exact thing at the same exact time, so we can make fun of how stupid the game is right now.
I can dig that. I do that with Borderlands and
yeah, exactly.
There's a game that my little brothers have that I actually got them for birthday or Christmas or something, called 5 Minute Dungeons, and it's a little cooperative card tabletop game that you're all working to defeat the dungeon in 5 minutes. And that can have more than 2 players for it, but it's still a cooperative card game. You're not backstabbing your buddy like Munchkin. It's not a thing in that game. And I would say Munchkin is automatically disqualified as being a cooperative game, because you are intended to backstab your buddy.
Oh no, that's not co-op game.
Because there are times where you can two people can gang up on somebody else and work together too.
Fair.
But there's another.
Yeah, it's not. It's not a cooperative card game. Because Red Dragon Inn is just
that's
every man for
I
themselves.
was gonna say that's a Royale game right there.
So
This is the only okay battle royale game.
speaking of tabletop adventure card game, there's a game called House on the Hill, and it's sort of a horror adventure card game, tabletop, where it's co-op at least until a certain point where the twist is revealed. And at that point, it might be revealed that one of you is a traitor and killing all the others. Or none of you are a traitor, and you're all just trying to survive a different life. So it's different. And you never know if you're a traitor until the reveal.
See, and I actually want to build off of that because there's another game that's very similar to that. It's called Hail Hydra,
Yes.
based off of Marvel. The idea is you're playing with a team of people, and you're all supposedly on this same team as you're facing down enemies that are trying to destroy New York City.
Mm-hmm.
But at any point in time, if you happen to be a Hydra player, you and any other Hydra player that's playing it can declare that you're actually playing as Hydra, and suddenly it's everyone versus you, the other person, and the villain. So it goes from being a co-op game to a versus game very, very quickly.
Interesting. See, I feel like those games kind of exist in a gray area of cooperative because there's definitely a heavy cooperative component, but then there's also that like heel face turn or face heel turn incorporated into the game.
Mm.
Another co-op card game that I really like is called Aether. And what it is, it's a deck building game, co-op, where you have a specific boss that you're trying to defeat, and you have to defeat his hordes and him. And in each round, the boss gets progressively more dangerous. And the goal is to survive and kill the boss. And it basically boils down to everybody wins if one of you survives.
Okay.
Which was a lot of fun.
I know. Wyldehigh, Dusty, you guys got any input?
I don't really know much about cooperative card games.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
I don't either.
video games that have the same concept too.
Well, see, I'm the guy that usually pulls out like old schooler games, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtle in Time, Double Dragon or Streets of Rage.
Double Dragon was one of the ones I was waiting to get brought up, probably by you, because that's like the original cooperative game.
Or the ultimate frustration, Contra.
Yeah, yep, there it is.
Where you and a friend could get frustrated at the exact same time.
Wait, are we talking about Mario Party?
Oh, God, no, that's another episode altogether.
How about games that have co-op modes that aren't typically co-op, but have a co-op story mode to go with?
Are you talking about Portal 2?
Yes! I'm glad you saw where I was going with that.
I mean, actually, Portal 2 would qualify because, as I recall, the co-op story is different than the main storyline.
It absolutely is.
So it has an entirely different game mode for the cooperative.
One of the more modern games that comes to my mind when I'm thinking of co-op plays or game modes that have cooperative play, one of the first ones to come to mind is Army of Two.
Good choice.
Yeah. That's pretty much built around the co-op experience.
Yeah.
But I could also I don't know if you can play 2-player cooperatively, but maybe even Resident Evil 0. I know Resident Evil 0 was the first one to introduce you using 2 characters and being able to switch out, but I don't remember if you could have a friend join in and play the second character.
I don't remember about Resident Evil 0. I do remember that everybody was like going gaga over Halo 3 when it came out, and unlike the first two instances of the series where the co-op campaign was you were just another random Spartan, player 2 got to be the Arbiter in Halo 3, which was
pretty slow.
everybody was like, oh yeah.
Well, yeah, no, you got to do that in Halo 2. I was going to say it introduced the ability to be able to really utilize the Covenant's weaponry in that, but were able to do that in Halo 2 because they jumped between Master Chief and Arbiter throughout the story. So never mind.
But you never got to play as them both in the same mission.
Nope.
Which is why everybody was going gaga over Halo 3, because it was like from the very first mission, if you were playing co-op with somebody, instead of like Chief and Chief 2, it was Chief and player 2 is Arbiter. And everybody was like, oh, that's awesome.
I mean, when I'm thinking about it, one of the original cooperative plays, almost in a sense, would be like Super Mario Brothers.
For the record, I don't have two T-Mobile phones.
Yeah, because the original Super Mario Bros. Had player 1 would be Mario, which was red Jumpman, and player 2 was the green Jumpman, slightly taller. Actually, it might have been the same.
It was the same frame in the original.
Yeah, same frame.
Yeah, Luigi didn't become taller until Super Mario Brothers 2.
After his growth spurt.
But actually, I'm correcting myself. Not Super Mario Brothers, the original Mario Brothers.
That's what I was saying. The one where they're running around the sewer, bashing the turtles and hitting the POW block.
Yeah. I had to correct myself.
I can't remember which one was the first one to introduce it, but along the same vein, Mega Man offered the same thing. Because exactly, I don't remember which game introduced it, but you were able to have player 1 play as Mega and the player 2 to play as Proto Man.
I can't remember which one that was.
I'm thinking.
It's been a really long time.
I'm also.
I loved Mega Man, so that's why I know that one.
No, I love Mega Man too, but I'm also just had a flashback to a shooter on the 8-bit Nintendo called Operation Wolf. That did have a co-op ability where player 2 could come in and you both had like your little rectangles running around screen, which confuses the fuck out of you in that game, but it still worked because they didn't bother making the rectangles different colors.
So we're about to go full arcade here because I thought of one.
I wonder.
Time Crisis.
Time Crisis.
I was going to be nice. I was going to be nice and wait on that one because arcade games as a whole is going to send us down a rabbit hole. But yeah, Time Crisis.
Well, a lot of arcade games are built around the whole cooperative player set. Because it's like, unless it's a fighting game or a racing game in an arcade, the only other mode of play you got is you're both staring at the same screen going through the same campaign.
Right,
because each of you get the light gun.
Right, because if you look at Time Crisis, you might as well add in like Terminator. You might as well add in the fucking Aerosmith game that happened for a while. The fucking hell, you can go down to
I mean the Aerosmith game and like the Guitar Hero and
no, not Guitar Hero. There was a shooter Aerosmith game where you shot CDs.
Yeah.
What?
Oh no, I played that game too. I know what game he's talking about.
Keith, it was at the bowling alley in Fairport.
Was it?
Yes.
I guess I just wasn't paying attention.
Well, to be fair, we were always playing Time Crisis. So.
That is true.
That
was our jam.
Since we mentioned Time Crisis, I feel like we need to mention its ancestor, the one that started the co-op shooter game, Duck Hunt.
Oh yes, I love Duck Hunt.
Could you do Double Blaster on Duck Hunt?
Yes, I did.
Yes, you could.
You could do Double Blaster on Duck Hunt. The other thing you could do with Duck Hunt is if you stuck a controller into the second.
Shut up, dude! No, shut up! Shut up! You don't even get to talk about that. I fucking was alive when the original 8-bit Nintendo came out. I played Duck Hunt for fucking 30 some odd years, and it wasn't until like a couple months ago on Facebook I discovered you could do that.
It was in the manual.
It was. Like, that's how I found out about it, playing on the freaking NES that my grandparents had at their house for us to play. It was in the fucking manual. I used to fuck with my sister all the time.
Fuck that.
Have you seen the Geico commercial with the freaking fisherman guy with the dollar on the end of the fisherman?
Yeah.
Oh, you almost got it. That was me with my sister making the duck dodge her fucking shot. Oh, you almost got him.
You gotta be quicker than that.
That's how I felt this weekend when we went to the arcade. Turns out I can't go with Salem to the arcade because when we do the shoot 'em up games, he gets like 95% of the kills, and then you get mine. Kind of sad. But yeah, co-op play is fun.
Like playing Time Crisis with Anvil.
Especially Time Crisis 2. I used to have that game memorized. Like, I knew exactly where on the screen the enemies were going to pop up, exactly when they were going to pop up. I'd head shoot them before you even realized they were there.
Like, it became a bit of a meme for multiplayer in Halo of, oh, you stole my kill. No, that was me playing Time Crisis with Anvil.
Sounds like Anvil was a guy when he was standing there with the 8-bit Nintendo playing Duck Hunt. He had the gun like resting on the TV screen.
Now that you mention it, I wonder if that's why I couldn't beat him on Walking Dead, because he seemed to know stuff before I did when they came around. Maybe he played it before and didn't tell me.
That sounds about right.
Now it makes more sense.
Let's see, I'm also
some of the newer light gun games at arcades, they actually have out, so it's slightly different each time, and the AI doesn't always perform the same. But old Time Crisis, you can fucking memorize that shit. It's gonna happen the same way every single time.
See, I'm now thinking about another arcade game that very much promoted cooperation, and it's right in our wheelhouse, Dungeons and Dragons.
Ruth.
They did have the Dungeons and Dragons arcade game.
They did. I forgot all about that.
That being said, let's talk about Dungeons and Dragons itself.
I was about to say,
that is the epitome of co-op.
Well, you don't have
it's not
to
a
be
two-player
cooperative with your partners.
I guess that's
It
valid.
just helps.
But that's multiplayer. That's not a.
You set everything on fire and watch it burn.
Zephyr, let me ask you a question then, and this can go out to the whole room. But Dungeons and Dragons, multiplayer or party game?
Multiplayer.
I'd say both.
I kind of want to go for party game just for the pun.
I kind of lean towards both.
Yeah, see, that's where I was going with it too. I'm thinking about it. It's like you multiplayer because you need obviously multiple people to play it, but in the same breath, you make an event out of playing it every week, and that technically classifies as being a party game.
Yeah, that's both party game and it's cooperative, party, and multiplayer. Because it's really up to your players what the game mode is. Because all it takes is one member of the party to decide that, hey,
I'm going to set everybody else on fire.
It's now last man standing. Let's go.
But see, now I feel better because that means I have a party at my house almost every week. This is awesome.
Yeah, see, I don't have. Those are always the fun D&D games when you're facing like a beholder or something like that, and your party just can't beat it. So you decide, I don't have to be faster than everyone, just the last person in the line.
You just described my last LARP experience.
Oh.
God damn it! I rolled a natural 1.
I saw a meme. Something about that recently.
Your players are always one natural 1 away from becoming one.
Yeah, let's talk about natural 1s and becoming memories, Billy.
I did not roll a natural 1 to die. I was killed by something that was massively stronger than me.
Yeah.
And just double the damage in my hit points.
That I have to be fair. I was the one to pick the fight with.
Yep. That is true.
You got killed. I see.
And to make Dusty proud, I did it drunk.
Oh. Do one drunk after hours, I tell you.
Sorry, we're getting off topic.
Yeah,
No, that's fine. I like it.
When do we not get off topic?
well, to bring it back on topic, I'm back to being
You have to be careful, though. I'm pretty sure off topic is like copyrighted or trademarked or something.
Well, to get it back on, how about get it back on tangent? I've gotten back to being addicted to Minecraft, playing with my best friend, and that's a great co-op because without him, I would die a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That I would definitely classify more as a co-op than a multiplayer. Yes, you can have multiple people on the same server as it, but that is specifically a game where you can either go off by yourself or you can work toward the benefit of a single goal with multiple people.
Are you
kill each other?
Are you really gonna look me in the eye and tell me that Plan G was cooperative?
Hey, two people work together to make that a thing.
well, wait a minute. I'm kind of confused on this multiplayer thing because of the fact that, like, when you think about it, like you think about an MMO, for example. Let's just say like Star Wars: The Old Republic. 9 times out of 10, you're not going into a death battle arena like you would say in Jedi Outcast, where multiplayer was a bunch of Jedis running around killing each other. In The Old Republic, you guys are usually working towards a common goal. You party up and make a common goal. So I'm kind of confused on that because, like, I'm thinking of like. You could have multiple people, for example, like on Gears of War, where maybe the deathmatch types are multiplayer because everybody's shooting each other and everything else, but you also have horde mode where everybody's working together.
Right. There's a certain point where games kind of bridge the gap between their main genre and cooperative games. Like for example, with the first-person shooter genre. Call of Duty for a little while had the Nazi zombies thing with the.
What do you mean a little while? They're still doing it.
Started. Well, it's not Nazi zombies anymore. It's just.
No, it is.
Started at World at War, and they brought it back for a couple of different iterations of Call of Duty. But that game mode is cooperative. Like you're playing with a bunch of people, and your goal is not to kill each other. Your goal is to not die.
Bullshit. If my health is low, I'm throwing you in front of the horde.
Right.
Now, see, I'll actually play the reverse card on that, and I'll stick to the FPS subject. Destiny 2 started it off as a multiplayer working together towards a similar goal, but then with one of their DLC seasons, they introduced a game type that essentially made it PvP. It was a PvP/PvE thing where, yes, you're working together towards a single goal, but again, there's another team that's working against you and you're fighting against them.
Well, you kind of bring up a great point, especially when it comes to MMOs. Does types of MMOs like World of Warcraft, where you primarily play PvE, even if you're not partied up with people, it's primarily PvE, unless you go into areas of PvP, or unless you set up your character to be PvP. Does that disqualify the game type from being multiplayer? Or not multiplayer, but cooperative?
Well, that's why I was so broad with my thing of cooperative games, because like if you go on to say the Steam store or something and search the tab, if you put in cooperative, you're gonna have a lot of games pop up that aren't just necessarily random, just cooperative game, two or more players working toward a common goal. There's going to be MMOs on there. There's going to be first-person shooters. There's going to be anything that's got a cooperative element to it will have that tag.
Oh, I've got the end all.
Cooperative games. It's like, I guess we're talking less about a genre and more about a phenomenon that happens in games where you have two or more players working together towards a common.
Oh,
I would agree with that.
I've got the end all. I've got the end all. This ends the episode right here. The ultimate cooperative game is the Lego franchise.
True fucking fact.
Oh, you are right. My
Yep.
kids spend hours doing those.
GG, everybody. Thanks for watching.
I didn't even.
How did I forget about Lego?
Think about any of the Lego games.
I'm glad he brought it up because I didn't want to.
I'm surprised you did it.
I won't lie. I looked down and I saw a case for Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh my god.
When you hand it to me, I'm the end of the table. That's me assuming you're done.
I was doing things.
So, anyways, away from the side tangent that just happened. Yeah, no, Lego, doesn't matter which one. It was Lego Harry Potter, Lego Star Wars, you name it. They made a Lego version of it. That thing thrived on cooperative play.
It was literally designed for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
the even more awesome thing about the Legos franchise for cooperative play is you could beat up on your fellow player.
Oh, yeah.
And all you did was explode into bricks and respawn like 5 seconds later.
mhm.
Yeah.
There was no game over.
I might have pissed off my siblings on more than one occasion with that move.
I don't remember. It was there was a consequence though. If you killed your partner, like that partner lost all his studs and you picked them up.
Yep.
So there was a little, incentive to beat the shit out of your partner.
At the end of the level, your studs were counted together anyway.
I know, but it was just bragging rights. I had more studs than you.
Here's the problem, though. The penalty for it, if you kill your cooperative person, some of those studs actually disappeared off the game. So you never picked up everything that they had. So if you keep doing that back and forth, eventually you're going to hit 0 for both players.
It just sounds like first-hand knowledge.
I've seen it. I've been called in. Mom, he's doing it again. He's making me explode.
I've waited long enough to bring it up. I feel like I've waited long enough. It was specifically made only as a co-op game. 4 Swords.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Four swords.
Both Cube and the original version of the 4 Swords.
The DS.
Not on the DS. It was on the Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance, yes.
Yep, and it was designed. It was specifically designed for link cable.
And if you didn't have a link cable and a second player, you could not play it.
That's why it was part of a bundle pack with Link to the Past. So that way, for some of us who didn't have the link cable, still had a game they could play that they spent $40-$50 on.
Right.
But yes, you're absolutely right. I forgot about 4 Swords. In the GameCube version, you could play it without.
Yes.
But it was difficult as fuck by yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
True fact.
Because the game was entirely built around having 4 players.
You can get by with 2 players.
Four players was easy. 3 players was medium. 2 players was hard, and 1 player was critical.
In fact, I think that's one of the only Zelda games I never beat.
I love that game so much. I specifically bought a second Game Boy Advance and a link cable just to play that. Oh, and a second copy.
Yep.
The Link to the Past 4 Swords Adventure.
Yeah, I believe that.
I specifically bought it so that I can play that with. Because everybody was like, "Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun, but I don't have this or that or the other thing," and I'd be like, "Well, don't you worry, I have everything."
But we mentioned keep talking and nobody explodes at the beginning of the episode. I feel like because it's a different kind of cooperative. It kind of along the same lines of Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventure is that it is designed entirely around the co-op. It's damn near impossible to play by yourself.
What game was this?
Keep talking and nobody explodes.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the bomb defusal one. Because in order to play it by yourself, you have to memorize the entire manual. And this is not a small manual.
16 pages?
This it
Oh, God, no,
is
it's bigger than
20
the most ridiculous
23
diagram
pages. 23 pages of a manual.
with the most ridiculous diagrams you have ever seen.
On standard letter, the whole page is filled out with information. And in order to be able to successfully play this game by yourself, you'd have to memorize that whole manual or be a really fast reader. Like, it is, this whole game is predicated on having a second player. And it honestly spawned the entire idea for this episode, because like it got me thinking, are there any other games out there that are built on being cooperative?
There's games that are more successful.
I've got one that I just thought of that you can play by yourself, and it's very similar to Four Swords. You can play it by yourself, but it is exceedingly difficult to do so. And I just found out it is supposed to be played on VR, but you can play it on console. Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Yeah.
I just recently picked this up for the PlayStation. It's a hell of a lot of fun, but good God, is it hard to play by yourself. Because you get to choose between the captain, tactical, engineering, and the pilot seat.
Oh, helmsman.
And you can, depending on where you're sitting, you have X amount of commands that you can execute. But if you have multiple people playing with you, whether it's online, person, what have you, it feels like you're on the freaking bridge of the Enterprise.
And if Star Trek Bridge Simulator counts, then so does Artemis Spaceship Bridge Simulator.
Oh God, I forgot about that game.
That game was a nightmare.
Yeah, you can play an entire ship by yourself if you know what you're doing, but it is difficult. It is so difficult.
Well, see,
that our friendship.
I've done it before. I have won against other bridge crews who are like fully entirely staffed crews, but I cheesed the whole thing because it was right after the update where they introduced the jump drive as opposed to the warp engines. So you could pick a coordinate on the map, plug it in, and your jump drive would pop you there. And so I figured out real quick that I could use the science menu, pick where my opponent was, pop in behind him, launch a bunch of torpedoes, pop back to a random coordinate, and be pretty devastating by myself. But that very quickly stopped being a thing once everybody else figured out how to use the jump drive too.
One game I was thinking of that was brought up from your keep talking or you'll explode. It wasn't necessarily designed to be co-op, but I think along the lines of like the games we're talking about, it's a lot easier co-op. Is the new Friday the 13th online? Like, granted, okay, one player becomes Jason, and his job is or her job is to run around and kill everybody. But everybody that's not Jason, you survive better and function better working together.
Yeah.
Because the only way to escape Jason is to survive the whole entire match, escape Camp Crystal Lake, or get like a car together, which you have to find like 3 different components, and there's only one of each component on the field.
Dead by Daylight would also qualify because that's a very similar game style.
Okay, I never played Dead by Daylight, so
one plays the monster, everybody else plays victims.
I can't recommend Dead by Daylight enough. That game is so much fun to watch, but jump scare city if you're playing it.
You know, it's funny. It's kind of off topic, but jump scare out of all hell was Star Wars Battlefront 2 when they introduced Ewok Hunt.
If you want the jump scariest game you've ever seen in your life, Fear Files.
I was gonna
All
say
3 of them.
Spooky's House of Jump Scares or something.
I'm more partial to Five Nights at Freddy's, but that's just because I'm a pussy.
At least he's honest about it.
It's great, man. I hate jump scare games. You'll never watch me playing them.
Fear Files was one of the first
UA Scented Candle?
Fuck you. You know what, bitch? Come here. I'm gonna take that.
Wait. Which scented candle? Gwyneth Paltrow's?
No.
After Hours reference.
Hashtag Ramble Rant.
Fear Files.
Put another one on the shots fired counter.
Had a lot of jump jump scares, but it was one of the first games to use the sounds that make you actually more afraid.
Yeah, infrasound.
Infrasound, thank you. It was one of the first games to use infrasound. And so you were constantly on your toes, so each jump scare was just that much worse.
Yeah.
Fun game, though.
And
that one was actually a lot easier to as well.
I like how we went from co-op games to jump scares.
Well, I mean, like, to be fair, jump scares are always better with someone else.
You know, it's another fun co-op game. I've been screaming forever for everybody to do it, especially for Sounds Dicey gaming channel.
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons Neverwinter.
So fucking good. Such a good game.
I have been screaming forever for everybody to get together and let's do a fucking live Let's Play on Twitch of it as a party together, and I can never get anybody on. I wonder why.
Well, I mean, you are just tempting the gods of roleplay in that request, because it's hard enough to keep a tabletop party together for a tabletop game.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if everybody can
You
play
think
from the comfort
easier by having it be online?
No, but we ain't running the fucking tabletop right now, so...
You can just play it from the comfort of your couch. I mean, like, that makes it a lot easier. You don't have to try to get everybody to commute to someone's house, one person's house, and agree which house to go to.
I'm making a joke about schedules lining up, guys. Come on.
I was gonna say if I owned it, I would probably do it, but I don't own it.
It's free.
Isn't Neverwinter free to play?
It is free.
And can my old PC handle it?
Considering
Xbox can.
Considering it
I
came
can't
out
use
in the
an Xbox.
2000s, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it can handle.
Okay, then I'll download it and I'll play with you.
It's not exactly Dark Souls.
Oh shit! Are we talking PC version of it? That means I'll have to download it because I have it on Xbox One and PS4.
Well, unfortunately, I can't play Xbox. I can only do PC.
But does it have crossplay? Because Xbox has done a lot of crossplay between PC.
I think Neverwinter is one of the ones that has crossplay, but I might be wrong.
I don't know. That would be something that somebody has to look up.
Hang on, wait, I got this. Okay, Google. Does Neverwinter have cross-platform play?
On all three major gaming platforms, PS4, Xbox One, and PC, some of the commenters on the PlayStation blog asked about cross-platform compatibility.
No shot. Yeah, no, that's right.
Some of the players asked about cross-platform compatibility.
Well, and you know what?
That's not what we wanted to know. We wanted to know, can it do it?
Well, to be fair,
News after it was announced that the popular blah blah blah. To anyone who owns a PlayStation 4 has a broadband internet connection, there's no requirement to sign up. Blah blah blah. Name is
Anvil's mumbling to himself right now.
We're listening.
Here we go. Sonic's.
Well, if you're gonna narrate,
Cross-platform playability to Rocket League, making it possible.
That's
It's
Rocket
not
League.
yet, unfortunately. Neverwinter users, it was mentioned that the game would not feature cross-platform compatibility.
Aww. Well, that sucks.
well, for future Zep, if you're gonna narrate over somebody while they're living life, you got to do it in a Morgan Freeman voice.
Real, I was gonna do a. Oh, come on, brain! Why do I have to blank on the guy's name? God, he does all the freaking nature documentaries.
Steve Irwin.
No,
James Earl Jones.
no.
Yes, James Earl Jones. That's who I thought he was talking about.
Okay.
No, not James Earl Jones.
Are you talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson?
No, the British white guy.
Oh, I'm talking about.
Jacques Cousteau.
No.
No, wait, he's French.
Hang on.
Oh my God.
Of course, if you're gonna narrate over my life, you have to use Samuel L. Jackson because I curse a lot.
I
Look,
don't
my
know.
My life story just needs more motherfucker.
First before, and it's something to behold. You ever watch Wanted?
No.
Watch it. You will never look at
David Attenborough.
Yeah,
I have
brain. I have Google.
I mean, I have heard Morgan Freeman curse before. I've watched Seven.
We need.
good point.
We need to make a T-shirt of that.
Go.
Fuck you, brain. I have Google. Start selling it as merch.
I'm still waiting for hashtag Ramblerant shirts, so
Be patient. I'm working on it.
I'm still waiting for Dusty. I'm still waiting for Dusty socks.
T-shirts.
Dusty socks.
We have so much
Dusty socks.
We have so much marketable material in our podcast that we need to just start making T-shirts and selling them on a store.
We need to start trading.
Hashtag Ramble Rant. Fuck you, brain. I have Google.
Press A.
Yeah,
Which is the show. I named this show after a shirt I created, playing a game against somebody who was a loudmouth idiot. I'm sitting there. The story is I was sitting there playing NHL hockey, an EA Sports game, and this dude was like fucking, oh, I could kick your ass in this game and blah blah blah. I can kick. He was one of those dudes. It's like I could beat you in everything, right? I'm like, all right, and I hand him controller and said, let's go. And the whole entire time he kept asking me, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you do this? How do you do that? And of course, in EA Sports, what's the typical answer?
Press A.
Press A. So for like 2 hours, all you heard me come out of my mouth was press A. While I was kicking his ass, by the way. Press A. Press A. And it got so bad that my friend and I both went out and made shirts that simply just said press A. So
That's funny.
So whenever we hung around a dude, we'd wear the shirts and get shut the fuck up, guys, you know. But that's literally where this podcast title came from, was that T-shirt.
Nice. I love how I'm the host of the show and I didn't even know that.
Well, now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
I was thinking if I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah.
I love the fact we had the out-of-tune harmonized G.I. Joe in the background too.
There is such a backstory to that. We don't have enough time left in this podcast.
That is one advantage to everyone knowing each other. Well, except Chris, but we tolerate you.
Hey,
am I fucking married again?
I keep saying that all we have to do is get popular enough that we can start doing the con scene, and then we'll all meet each other at cons.
That would be cool.
And again, all you guys, for people who need to know, I'm in Philadelphia. You guys are in New York. We're not technically like across country.
Well,
No.
Right now I'm in New York, but I'm usually in Pittsburgh.
I was gonna say Anvil moved on us. He abandoned us all.
No, you guys just didn't go to the state that actually believes in your constitutional rights.
Working on it.
It's on the list of maybe places to move in 5 years.
Yeah, but you picked the wrong side of the state.
I like Pittsburgh. It's like someone took a city and dropped it in the forest.
Yeah,
It's kind of exactly what they.
Yeah.
Somebody took a city and dropped it in the middle of a forest in a valley.
Well, middle of a forest on top of like 4 mountains.
Anyway, we're getting way off top here.
All I know is, Anvil, stay the fuck out of my notes for fucking 4 Corners of Hell.
Anyway, on that note, Chris, where can they find you?
Probably trying to pick Dusty up out of some flower bed somewhere. No, you can find me right here on Realm of the Mist Entertainment on all the pretty much the podcasts, including After Hours and, of course, the show I do host, Breaking the Fourth Wall, or over at our sister channel, Sounds Dicey Gaming, where I sometimes DM, sometimes play a character. We will get back to that. And majority of the time, doing video game Let's Plays and playthroughs of just whatever game I wound up buying at a bargain bin at some point. And, of course, if you prefer your audio podcasts, or your podcasts in audio format only, you could always look up Realm of the Mist Entertainment on Anchor.fm, Apple iTunes, Spotify, and even most recently, Pandora, or wherever quality podcasts may be heard.
All right, Dusty, where can they find you?
On the sock drawer. Any place he just mentioned, because that's our producer, and we also are on Facebook and on Twitter under the Sock Drawer SD and Patreon, and I think that's pretty much it right now.
Wait a minute, Sock Drawer SD. I just realized it's the standard edition.
Yep, I was waiting to see how long that one was going to take to get.
It's Sock Drawer Salem and Dusty.
Monday for that.
Or it's Sock Drawer initials SD, which is Sock Drawer.
No, it's Salem Dusty. Duh. Keep going.
Sure.
As long as it's not Gundam SD, we're okay.
As long as there's no T in the middle of it. Oh, get your minds out of the gutter. I'm talking about Star Trek Discovery.
There's more people than me. Keep going.
Black Wings, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook and YouTube under the handle Josh Wilson. I'm on Twitter for Blackwings13. Same with my Twitch channel, Blackwings13. You can also find me highly influencing the beautiful Dusty with a nice bottle of alcohol.
And Anvil.
You can usually find me on Xbox, the Anvil O. Or if you really want to meet me, just tell me you have pie. I will go a long way for pie.
I have pie.
I would.
Well, I tell you what, you meet me halfway. Be there.
Deal.
Meat pies, meat pies.
Do you care?
Pie flavor.
Well, if it's depending on what kind of pie it is, I might be willing to go the whole distance.
Pie flavor.
It's Dusty's pie.
All right.
I got a lovely pie.
You don't know how dirty that just sounded.
I'm your host, Zephyr Zero. You can find me on Press A Gaming Podcast. Obviously, I'm your host. And you can also find me occasionally on After Hours and any other podcast they decide to Shanghai me into at the time. This has been Press A Gaming, and remember to press A for more great content.